Hello all and welcome to this hopefully in-depth review of Deathsaurus, the new Haslab one that is arriving to certain fans. It came out to US fans about last week or so, Canadian fans now, which is why I have it, and I believe it will come to European fans early next year. So this is basically the goal of this review is to show you everything that this toy entails. The synergy between the weapons, different poses you can do, different attach points, all that you can do with this figure, especially for those either that want to live vicariously through me through this review, or more importantly, the ones that have now gotten into the hobby, realize that this toy exists, and may want to invest in it or buy it for themselves and want to see exactly what everything that there is to offer with the store, because there is actually a lot. So firstly, well, I have everything laid out on the table. The only thing that I don't have there are a few effect parts that I didn't put them all there. They're not all necessary for the different modes that I will be showing you. There's just a few more that come with this toy, and it's basically the same effect parts we've had for that we've seen before, either coming with Jetfire or the effect parts bundle that we had with the Triceratops skeleton character. Sorry if I don't remember it very well. All I'm going to say is that, as far as I know, these aren't new. The color for certain elements may be new. They're all in fuchsia. You can see them here. So we'll go through all the motions of this toy. You can see it comes with a very big box. There it is. And inside there are smaller boxes with different components. So the one thing that I have done here that is not how he comes out of the box is putting Tigerchest in his chest. So Tigerchest is this smaller Transformer figure, and yeah, it plugs into his chest. I'm putting it there for now because that's to me my default look for Deathsaurus. Now we'll get the first thing I'd like to show you is, well, beyond that, it does come with a base. The base itself has multiple usage. Just want to show it to you if you're curious. It does have quite a bit of molded detail. It does also have that marbling effect, which I personally am not a huge fan of. It kind of looks cheap, especially since this is supposed to be, I'm assuming, stone or metal. But this, I don't know, this doesn't look too great, and as you can see. In any case, that's what it is. But there is molded detail all throughout, and there are multiple uses for it. So you have, for instance, the stand, which fits in two ways, and I'll show them to you. I won't actually be posing him this way because I don't need it. But just to give you an idea. So here's a stand. You plug it in this way. Yeah, this way for the, wait, I'm gonna take this out, sorry about that. Yeah. So this is the way so you could have Deathsaurus here, showing the back where the connection point is. It's right there. Right? I'm feeling so naughty doing that, but that's where it is. When he is in his kaiju mode, you remove it, you turn it this way, and you have this attachment piece as well that plugs in here. And like that, the kaiju or dragon chicken can be there. I'll show it to you when it comes into when we transform it, just to show you exactly where the attachment point is. I don't use this though too much. What I do want to show you most before we get into like putting all the different weapons on him is my favorite part, which is him sitting on the throne. I think it makes for a really, really cool, badass scene. When we get the box out of the way, we're gonna start having some fun here. I can even make him a bit closer. That's better. Good. So, stand itself has these 4 attachment points, perfect for where the throne goes. And now to me, this is the cool part. It's where all the different weapons go on here. And there's even like a sequence to it. So the first we would put would be here, this mace. All right. Right here. Actually, what's fun about this is that after that, when it comes to the time of showing them to you individually, I'm just going to take them from this area. Okay, then we have this long arrow. There's 2 attachment points here. The next step is this giant sword or saber, and it's cute. There's two like trapezoid type of indentations, and they're for different locking. They're for different slots within the toy. For this particular one, we're going to use this larger one here. Let me straight. Okay, and then here we put the living metal destroyer cannon, which is like this. It does. Well, you'll see what happens when you take when you unfold it, but it actually comes like this when you have it in the packaging. So if you're curious, one thing I find really cute are the paint apps, which I think are very, very well done, very clean. Oh yeah, if there's one thing, just to make it clear, there is no QC issues with my release. I suffered of the bad luck lottery with the Star Saver, so I'm very glad that this wasn't the case with Deathsaurus. Everything came out fine. You'll see in the video. My only issue, if you're curious, is that the waist is a little bit loose, but I don't think that that's necessarily a QC thing. Yeah, I'll show it to you. It's not too bad. In any case, so back to the living metal destroying cannon. Good. So you see there's 3 here, 3 circles. On this side, there's 3 as well, but this one here has a hole because that's going to fit in. What I find really, I don't know, cool or cute, is you can see this really weird like ridge around here. It's like a mountain range almost, and it's to fit exactly with what we see here. It kind of reminds me, I don't know if there's any Star Wars fans, but when Rey was looking at the fallen Death Star, and she had to like have the knife have the exact edge, something I found very contrived and very odd, since the knife seemed ancient and the Death Star had only fallen like what 30 years ago, 35 years ago, something like that. So in any case, it reminds me of that because it's like having the exact shape and you're like, ooh, it fits perfectly. Good. So it is. Of course, there's a bit more to it. We do have, this is the shield that he uses, and it also transforms into the tail, as we'll see when we transform it into his kaiju mode. The shield itself has 2 ways to be used. It can be used handheld. So this is the handle here, and you would include it like this. So handheld. And if you want to stick it to Deathsaurus' shoulder, you would do it this way. Turn it around. Yeah, like so. So then you have this peg sticking out that can fit onto his shoulder. And that's the way that we're doing it for here, because you see there's a hole here, a peg here, so that's where it's going to fit. So I do love how everything fits here. I think it's really, really cool. I'll put it extended a bit so you can see. Isn't that awesome? I'm really impressed by all this. And this is, like, this whole throne thing is all that bonus tier stuff. If you're curious about my thoughts about the value, I think that Deathsaurus himself could have easily been released as a commander class figure. He wouldn't be any more expensive than that. I think the only reason why maybe the deco may be a bit premium. That's all I can see. And also the fact that they didn't know if it would sell or not, which I still think is a bit odd, since it's a pretty cool alt mode, pretty cool looking figure. Anyways, I don't think you're getting necessarily more than a commander class figure, but basically just the issue was just you're getting him or not, and the only way that Hasbro thought you would be able to get him would be through Haslab. In any case, I don't mind the price I paid, but I am glad that it achieved all tiers, because if it was just a figure, I may be a bit disappointed. With everything else that we're getting, I think I have no complaints about the price itself. Okay, now back to the figure. So the whole throne is done. I'm gonna turn it. There is, as we'll do it after. It's to add the Eaglechest on the top here. Now I'll transform it when time comes. For now, we're gonna have Deathsaurus, and there actually is a process to putting him inside the chair, and it's with the knees. See, the knees are on. They're double. It's a double knee kind of. So while you don't see it here, he does have. It's because it's locked in with this this folding panel. So yeah, decent articulation. We'll get through the articulation after. But the idea here is that you want to unplug it here like that. You can then flip it down like so. So you have this, like, it ends up being almost like a double knee. If you're curious, Here, let me see what I can do here. Just show you what I'm trying to say. If I were to open it, he could literally fold out his knee like all the way. In any case, the point is you want it to be like so. Because like that, he's able to sit lower. I'm going to put back this. This is the little nonsense I did. All right. That's what we're trying to do here. And yes, this does come off. The connection is fine. It's friction-based. But there's not like necessarily a lock-on. That is, if you want to call it a QC issue. I think they're all like that. It seems like it does the job. It's just not the best. Okay. That's how he would be sitting. Like so. Okay? So you have these nubs in the air. Now we're going to sit that source. You have to make sure that the head of the dragon is flush on his back, because that is actually how he connects to it. Okay, good. And here's that source sitting. Now, a few things to do. Yes, you can change the angle of the wings, tilt his head up. I think that looks much better. I'm going to add the Eaglechest component. So you hear, I mean, it's not necessarily a lock, but you do hear that I'm gonna say it locks into place. It's not to me a definitive lock, but it does stick. Okay, now for the final part for this display option is you have this. I'm gonna call it cassette because that's what I'm most familiar with. We have this cassette which is Eaglechest, and we're going to transform it into the Eagle component. So it's very, very basic. So you just open up the wings, take out the tail, take out the head, and then you flip out the ends of the wings. The last thing to do is, like the Soundwaves cassettes, you take the little feet and you what's the word? You lift them off from the side. Good. Now this is actually very well done. So it does have, if you're curious, we're going to look at it now. So I don't have to go through it too much later. Honestly, I am unsure if the eyes are painted or not. They seem to have a slightly different red tinge. I don't know if we're going to be able to focus on this. Maybe not. They have a slightly different tinge of red on the eyes. It's not exactly clear. I think they're painted, but I may be wrong. I don't know if it's because the fact that they're slightly less indented means that the light is reflecting differently. I'm not sure, but to me they look ever so slightly painted. And yes, the mouth opens up. Okay, good. Now you see there's holes on the feet. Those will plug in on top. Now, if you're wondering if it's difficult, it's not. The only reason why I may be showing slight difficulty in the matter is because there's a camera between me and it. There you go. So that's it. That's Deathsaurus being badass. All right. Now let's move on to the rest. Let's get him out. Out. Yep, that wasn't super held on tight there, but it's fine. And yes, now you can plug in these knees back, plug in Eaglechest more firmly. Here we have Deathsaurus. It's looking awesome. Now I'm going to show you how this plugs in. I'm going to transform it back very quickly. So very simple. It's like any other simple cassette. Now this will fit inside a chest. We're going to take out our friend here, Eaglechest, and we're going to put in Eaglechest. An Eaglechest is a very tight fit, but it does work. There's no problem. And if you're curious how to remove him, when we lift up the kaiju head, you see that there's just a hole. You see it, you can just push it, and it comes out. But I will not be doing that. I don't need to do that right now. Good, and then we put in my chest. Yeah, looking great. Now, for the various weapons he comes with, I'll show you the shield first. Now for the shield on the shoulder, like I said, it's the same one that you use for that. So there is a flap here that you can open on the shoulder, and you just plug that in. I'm going to tilt the wings back a bit. And that's that. There. I'm going to push him a bit more back so you can see better. Good. Maybe tilt this upwards a little bit. Good. So that's him. Now, more things you can do. You can add the... we'll give him the sword. Now, the connections for the hands are similar to MP figures, where there's these kinds of, well, I'll call them pegs, but it's like slit sized. So there's little slits in the hands. You can go. Speaking of the hands, articulation, there's so yes, they do open and close, but there's also what we'll call double digit articulation. So you can have just the index and middle finger, or the ring finger and the pinky. And here you go. Holds the sword very well. Source. Good. Now I can take the shield. I'm gonna close this up, and I can make him hold it. So to do that, like I said, you flip this this piece into it, and that creates the same kind of, you know, the same kind of slit hand grip. It's a bit trickier because you have less room to maneuver. But yeah, that's him. So he's got a shield, sword. Good. Now I'm going to remove that. I feel like I'm just going through the motions. None of these are looks that I would necessarily do. The two, you'll see what my favorite ones are. I do like the sword a lot. The shield, honestly, I can take it or leave it. I do prefer it on the shoulder, since I find it a bit finicky to deal with the hand. Since you're dealing with like multiple connections, you have to deal with the hand, and you don't have much room to maneuver with the fingers out, and you have the connection between this and the shield itself. All right, I'm gonna take this out too. Yeah, about the sword, this can fit in the back. Just to show you, a lot can fit in the back. It's pretty fun. So the sword here, see the trapezoid shape? The trapezoid shape here, and what's fun is that's at an angle. So when you plug it in, it's pretty cool. There, it's angled like this. I like that a lot. Speaking of pieces that fit in the back, I'm going all over the places for you, but I just want to show you everything it has. So for the mace, you'll see from the top, there's this big hole here for where the kaiju, or where the head will fit when it's in kaiju mode. And you just, stick it in there. Personally, not a fan. I'm not going to do that, especially when I have, you can use the chair itself. I do think that maybe, I'm not sure if the mace was included the first time around, but this could have been like there in case this didn't meet its goal. In any case, I'm not going to use this. Just to show you what you can do. Speaking of the mace, this is him handling the mace. always tricky with these. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of these slit things, even when it comes to the MPs. I've always found them very finicky in their in how solid the connection is. That's it. Here's wish chain. Right. Take that out. Now for some fun. Okay. I'm going to take out our friend here. And for this, it's preferable that you also take out, for the look, it's preferable that you also take out Eaglechest. So I'm going to show you what you do here. Push. Back down. All right, so this is what it looks like when he's got nothing inside. It's just a flap with a spring, if you're curious. All right, that's it. Okay, I'm going to take out Eaglechest. Oh yeah, speaking of which, what I can do now is I can transform him into his gun mode. So you take this, you take the two. It's a bit tricky because there's the feet in the way. But here, take out these cannons, and you close them up again. And the tail of the eagle becomes a handle. Now these, I can put some blushing to it. There you go. And put in his hand as well. Yeah, a bit tricky. I'm really not a fan of these slits. There you go. So that's Deathsaurus with his nice blushy gun. And yes, of course, I'm referring to Nico. He's great with his reviews. Okay, put it to the side. Now we did have this long arrow here. This is going to fit well to. It's going to turn our friend Eaglechest into a bow and arrow. So to do that, there's a few steps. You have a piece here that you have to flip out. However, it doesn't flip out totally. You have to first open this piece a bit from the back, then you hold on to it, and you flip it back, and here it is. And there's that little slit. I don't know if you see it. Yeah, a slit so you could put the arrow inside. Now, in this, I find, it's not a huge detail, but there's two extra pieces that I feel didn't necessarily need to be done, but they are. So kudos to Hasbro for that. So you can see, like, we're talking about the extra value. Like I said, base figure commander, no problem. It's all the extra stuff that comes with it, where you see how it's more, you get what you paid for. Okay. So anyways, so you saw I just flipped this little panel, and I flipped this entirely, and it's like it elongates the nose of the tiger. And I could take this arrow. Oh yeah, it's very shiny. Very beautiful chrome. By the way, the way it's packaged, I mean, yeah, it's gonna have my fingertips all over it, so that's nothing I can do about it. But the way it's packaged, though, for it to not have any issues with, these are removable, and you can remove them if you want to store them in a better way. And so you have this peg that plugs into this hole. Anyways, just say that the way that they're packaged, this is protected, so we won't have scratches that we had with Victory Saber. So I peg this slit into, the slit. Good. That's when we're going to see another functionality. So if you're noticing, I never really like to go through all the articulation. Most people know what to expect. There is nothing out of the ordinary with this figure. If there is, I pointed out, like the fingers. The other thing I'd like to point out is that while he does have this kind of shoulder articulation, he also has the articulation that you can. And this one, okay, if I have a pet peeve, it's this particular articulation. This articulation I find very tight. So this is the one where not necessarily. It's, you know what? It's kind of replicating what you'd call a butterfly joint in a standard action figure. Of course, in this case, it's a transformer, so all these pieces have to flip around everywhere. But what we're doing here is, yeah, it's giving him basically butterfly joint articulation, right? It's not looking perfect because, like, it's right at an angle, okay? Basically reminds me of Optimus Primal's his elbow in the Beast Wars cartoon, which is like that at a really, really rough angle, right? It's barely hanging on. In any case, so you can do that. And that comes to play with this particular mode, because here, I'm going to extend his hand so it looks like he's got a bow and arrow, right? If you're curious, what you do to plug it in is you have these slits or peg holes here, right? And the pegs are underneath the figure right there. So I'm going to plug that in. So if you see me struggling, it's only because there's a camera in between me and the toy. And then this is actually tough. I'm going to bring it down a bit. Yeah, like this here. If you're curious, the connection is okay. Most of this is friction-based. It's not falling off, as you can see. I'm able to get it, and this is him. Yeah, okay, it's looking better at my angle. I'm going to do it. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, you're hearing all the nice little ratchets. I do like that too. Is this looking better on the camera? No, still looks like you're not seeing. How about this? There you go. That's better. So yeah, here he is firing his arrow. Looks pretty cool. Like I said, I like this mode. Oh, I forgot. There's one thing. These extend outwards. Hopefully I can do that. It's not going to mess with it too much. Here you go. And it clicks. This I like. There is a lock on for the angle to make it look more like a bow. So here you go. Isn't that beautiful? I love this. Like I said, it looks really, really good. This is a premium toy. Definitely is. It's still, of course, articulation wise, and you'll see in transformation a bit simple. It's still within generations. But yeah, so that's basically the toy in its robot mode and all the accessories. I will do another video for its transformation to kaiju mode. All right, I'll see you then. Bye.